I'm Glenyce Hughes, and I get to travel this beautiful planet of ours, facilitating people in creating their dreams come true. How the heck did I get so lucky? So, are you willing to compete with you? Yes. Now, this workbook, the Advanced How to Become Money Workbook, we are starting another round in January of 2023. So come and play. And this question is one of the 71 questions that are in this book. Here we go. What can you do today to stimulate the competitive edge of your own reality right away? Yeah, so if you've been around the tools from Access Consciousness for a while, you know that competition, in fact, is one of the 10 keys to freedom. No competition. And yet here, in another one of Access Consciousness books, we're talking about competitive edge. And so there's destructive competition, and then there's also generative competition. And this energy is what we're talking about, the generative competition, where you compete with you, where you look at what gets you excited, what gets you out of bed in the morning or keeps you up late at night. It's often a term that I use. For myself, it's keeping me up late at night. It's easy for me to get up in the morning, but staying up late is not so easy. And if I can outcreate myself somehow, that's the energy we're looking for. And so when you're looking at that enthusiasm, maybe, that's probably the word I would use more, but that enthusiasm, what is that for you? What generates that for you? For me, it's all of the different creative things I get to do in the business. And even with myself, personally, I will look at how I can create this competitive edge. So if I'm doing like a workout regime, how many, maybe it's a 21-day thing. So it's the challenge within myself to do every one of the 21 days. Of course, as long as my body says yes. And it's that energy, it's that competitive edge. And what is that for you? And it's probably going to differ between all the things. But for me, it's something you want to just be so present with and so aware of. Because without it, a lot of times, we don't do anything. It's how I have continuously outcreated myself financially because I track it. I get excited about it. I look at every month, what does a business want to bring in? And then what creations want to bring in, how much? And then the competitive edge is actualizing that each month or outcreating it each month. So what is it for you? How can you inspire you forward with that? Now, if you haven't been listening to my private podcast called Behind the Magic, there will be a link above or below. I did a whole show on competition, something that came up in the 10 Keys to Total Freedom workbook or book club that I'm doing right now. And competition, the destructive competition is so much more than what I ever realized before, like so much more. In fact, anytime you need to be right, you're doing competition. Ouch. Yeah, right? See, I gotta be right? So with this, it's like, are you willing to compete with you? The only one you can compete with. And in Access, we call it the outcreation. So every day ask, what would it take to outcreate myself today? Meaning, what would it take for me to be more of me today than I was willing to be yesterday? And if you see somebody doing something super cool, you could also ask, what would it take to outcreate them? But it's not a competition, it's an outcreation. You're asking, what is it going to take for me to be more of me than they were willing to be of them when they created that thing? Right? Just a totally different space, and something that for many of us, we require this energy to keep us choosing greater, keep us choosing more, keep us inspired and enthused. So I wonder how many ways that you can play with that and outcreate yourself, especially as we go into a new year. I mean, 2023 is just around the corner. Yes. So again, come and play with us for this Advanced How to Become Money Workbook starting every Tuesday in January 2023 for 9 weeks, because there's 9 chapters. Yeah. Have a great week, sweet friends. I look forward to chatting again next week.